Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB.
Donuts, as is your want, because we have an extended Zoom log on this second half.
All right, don't forget, of course, we are being heard and seen around the world on our live video stream. That's going right now at talk973.com or talk1041.com or WEEB990.com. All three will carry you to the same place. Go to the top middle of the home page, and that's where the video link is. If you need just audio, like an audio stream, we got that too for you. Go to the upper right-hand corner of any of those web pages on our website, and there's an icon that says, On the Air, Listen Live. Click it once, and you're listening that quick. If you're on a mobile device for the video, you fire up YouTube and put Mornings with the LeaderMan in the search. If you are just using your phone or whatever, tablet, you need a streaming app such as TuneIn, iTunes, or Streamer. And then you can stream our stream. Just look for WEEB in the search. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area. Going to be a pretty decent day. Mostly sunny with a high of 45. A little chilly, but still. Then tonight, mostly cloudy with rain. A low around 32. I know they all showing, some of the weather nuts are showing snow and all that crap. You're not going to have it. Can't have it. Tomorrow, cloudy with rain, high of 34. See, you can't have it. Then Thursday night, cloudy with rain, a low of 33. That's dancing pretty close next to it, but still rain. Then Friday, partly cloudy with scattered showers, high of 74. Right now around the Sand Hills, let's see here. Winds are from the northeast at 3. Pressure is 30.05, dew point's 21, humidity 74. It's sunny and 30 right now here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All righty, Lake General Johnson on the beach. It is 7:35, 35 past the hour. You know, when we had him at our club, you know, when the talent would come in, before they do their stage act, they come back and get paid, and in cash. Well, actually, we give them a check, then we cash the check with cash, and they count every penny of it. But General Johnson, he come back there, he just grabbed the wad of money and stick it in his left front pants.
That's the way to do business.
Well, he trusted us.
Well, if you haven't ripped him off, I guess he would.
No, we haven't ripped off a soul. All right, let's see if we can put the smile on the Colonel's face. This is difficult to do sometimes, but we're going to give it our best try by using the overnight Munich boys to see if they can come up with just one joke that the Colonel will laugh at.
In New Orleans, they had the coldest Fat Tuesday in more than 100 years. People on the streets were putting their tops on. That's how. You know, they had to cancel the Mardi Gras parades this year because last year's festivities turned into a super spreader event. It was right at the beginning of the virus. But this was the scene on Bourbon Street where there was no bourbon to be had.
There's nobody in the French Quarter on Mardi Gras Day in 2021.
It's Girls Gone Home in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, there you go. I mean, the never-ending pandemic, that's what we're headed for. And, yeah, kill the culture. You know, not that Mardi Gras was anything to really hold up as a centerpiece of your culture, but...
no, just a bunch of dumpy bars you wander in and out of.
Well, true, but, you know, the point is they're trying to put everything out of business. I mean, I don't understand what's going on here. Well, I do. I mean, they're trying to destroy the economy of the United States, destroy the culture of the United States, and they're well on their way to doing it.
And build back better. Well, y'all voted it in. I got to endure it for 4 years. A comedian did a video where he pretends to be an anti-coat guy who refuses to wear a coat in the freezing cold. Already, the Colonel's smiling on that one. It's a satire about the anti-vaxxers. Here's a clip.
Dude, it's like 30 degrees. Don't you want to put on a jacket?
No, I'm not brainwashed by the code industry. Thank you.
The code industry. Aren't you worried about getting hypothermia?
You know what? If you look at the statistics for hypothermia, most of those people were wearing coats.
And so that's reason to not layer up when it's literally been snowing all day.
I feel like if you did your own research, you'd sort of know this. The coat industry is like $1 billion industry. It's all a scam. Just want to get you to buy more coats.
Because coats work.
It's okay, sheeple. Do your own research on this, and then we can have like an actual conversation about it.
But what if you get sick?
I mean, do I look sick?
Kinda.
No, that's not. That isn't even remotely funny. We're this vaccine stuff. I just read another article here on it this morning. Probably between the Pfizer, Moderna and Pfizer, those two vaccines, upwards of 50% of the people getting those vaccines are having one or more side effects, and the side effects are not good. I don't want to get into it because some of the other stuff is hearsay, but I am not sold on this stuff at all. And becoming less sold on it as days go by.
Well, each individual has to make a choice for themselves. So, a barber in Boston is lucky to be alive after he tripped while cutting a guy's hair and stabbed himself in the chest with his own scissors. That's one of those of course moments. Of course I stabbed myself.
Well,
the customer and other employees talked about it after they heard he'd be okay. The cops were suspicious at first and thought someone stabbed him, but security cameras got that notion out of their heads.
He was walking around behind me, and then he slipped. I was like, oh, it's fine. And then I realized he's holding scissors, and there's blood on the floor. And he goes, oh my God, I just stabbed myself. I think he fell right on the scissors. I think he was kind of in shock, so he got up really fast and pulled him out.
From what I understand, like if it was like an inch to the left or right, I mean, he would have been gone. They thought it was a stabbing. Guy gets stabbed in the center of the chest with his scissors, and the police come and you tell him, yeah, he fell on his scissors. The story is not believable, so I don't really blame them for thinking that.
Well,
they can come back and fill in all the details, make it more scary.
Well, fortunately, he had the camera was there and showed what happened.
Yeah.
But, I was just thinking those scissors, really long and pretty sharp and pointed scissors that those guys use. Plus, they have very small ring holes for the fingers. It's not like like scissors I have laying around the house. I mean, you can pick them up, cut whatever, and then just flop them down, and they just, they don't stick to anything. But those scissors that those guys use, I was just thinking of them. Very small hole that fits very tightly around your finger, so you have good control while you're cutting hair, and. Yeah, I could see where, hey, you slip and, like I've slipped and had a knife or a tool or something, and the first thing I do is try to toss it away from me as far as I can, so I don't fall on it.
Well.
And, yeah, you wouldn't necessarily be able to do that with those little scissors when you think about it. I
think about it after they stab you in the chest.
Well, because you put your hands out or whatever, and I could see him. If he slipped and fell, puts his hands out, he's got the scissors there, and they're stuck on his thumb and forefinger, and they're pointed up.
Yeah,
I could see that happening. Sure.
Well, he saw it for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if the video's up there. I bet you, man, I could see that happening. I really could.
I have a link to it. We can look at it at the break. There's a couple in Chicago who got the same, who go to the same restaurant each year to mark the anniversary of their first date. And they celebrated their 20th last week by leaving the staff $2,000. Here are some of the employees talking about this little treasure.
My heart started racing, I'm just like, I'm trying to like run around and be like, oh, can I find someone? Because this is kind of unbelievable.
We have a lot of these type of guests. They've come in, they've started their families here. He was very specific. He wanted to make sure it was shared with all the staff.
It almost makes you want to like cry when people are that generous.
It just really put a smile on everybody's face here.
Okay. Well, down in Texas, they're having a hard time of it.
Wow. Yeah, it's getting worse.
They're not used to freezing weather, much less snow on top of it.
Well, not this bad. I mean, it gets snow in Texas all the time, but not like this.
Yeah.
Wow. Global warming.
Yeah, and they don't have enough generating power to generate enough electricity to keep you warm because they forgot one little detail. Those solar panels are all covered with snow.
Well,
the windmills are covered with ice.
Yeah.
So they're out of balance and they can't turn. So about 25% of your generating capacity is gone.
Yeah, I was surprised.
They just don't think it through.
When I read that thing, that Texas, between solar panels and particularly the windmills, it's like 18% of their power. It comes from that resource, and boom, here it is. It's down. 70-80% of their windmills are frozen, etc. So they're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, and like they said on the news this morning, there's people out there in their cars driving around to stay warm because houses that are electrically heated are going through rolling blackouts, etc. So they have no heat in their houses, and thank God that they have gas-powered cars, because if they have electric-powered cars, they're out of luck.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of the time at NASA. Actually, it was the Johnson Space Lab. But anyway, all these scientists in the big old auditorium, they're trying to decide where's the best place for their space probe to land on that asteroid. And they spend a whole week looking at this thing in teams. And they come back with the spot they want to land it on, and it's all agreed to. And they land on it, and guess what? It was in the shade. They didn't consider that.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
a little rover didn't get any power.
Brilliant.
It's one of those dumb moments.
Okay. Well, I don't know that I've ever read that, but if that's the story, yeah, that's a whole lot of high-powered, high-paid brain power sitting there, and they screwed it up. Oh, wow.
It's like another scientist with NASA on one of these huge budgets. I mean, to get like $20 million to put together a space probe. And this one was going, where was it going? Oh, it was a special asteroid out there that they wanted to take a look at. So Genius has a team. Of course, this project lasts how long? 20 years. Because at the end of 20 years, you retire at NASA. So they start the project, and on the 20th year, they fire this thing up, and away it goes. And Dummy puts Windows on it, and the computer crashes on the way. So he has to reboot the computer, and by the time he got the commands back in, they were so far away from the target, they only got 2 pixels in the picture.
Great. Yeah.
There's 20 million of your money going right down a tube.
Yeah, it seems to me I remember reading something about that in the pictures. Yeah.
Most of the U.S. is freezing conditions. Let's go now to our man in the street and find out how people are dealing with the extreme cold.
Excuse me, sir. Why are you standing outside in the cold without a shirt? What about you, sir? What's your thermostat setting? The heat is on. How are you going to pay your bill? I don't know. You, sir, with a dead car battery. How do you feel right now? Helpless, helpless. Mm-hmm. And where do you wish you were? California. You, shivering without a hat, coat, or mittens. What can I do for you? Let me stand next to your fire. You think your electric bill is going to go down? No. One last question to the heating and gas company president who keeps raising our rates. What are you doing to keep warm? I been freezing reporting. Back to you in the studio.
Yeah, I've been freezing. That goes back to Texas again. It's something I didn't realize, but Texas is a standalone power infrastructure. They're the only state that is self-contained as far as power goes. So when they had this problem with these windmills, et cetera, yeah, it's a huge problem because instead of being able to draw power, say, from Louisiana or something, Arizona, New Mexico and Arizona, they can't do that or don't do it because they're all self-contained. It's a problem.
Well, let's check in,
especially since we're heading back into a new little ice age, because we're going to have colder and colder temperatures.
We're just 10,000 years from it. From the climax.
We're heading back into a cold period. It's like the wave things. We had a period of a lot of heat, et cetera. Now we're going back into a period where temperatures are going to average lower.
Let's say North Carolina be under 40 feet of ice.
Well, yeah, that'll take 10,000 years, but but we're still going back into a colder wave here on the environment.
Well, let's check in. There's a lot of news out there, but let's check into the news that it is not mainstream news.
This is not headline news. An MTV Real World reboot with the original cast is in the works. If this excites you, you're a member of the original Real World cast. The winter storm forced Walmart to close some stores, but the bathrooms will remain open to prevent the disruption in methamphetamine production. Wallet Hub named West Virginia as the least educated state. Residents responded, "That's not true. East Virginia is a way dumber state." By the way, you know what website West Virginia residents go to for information? Wikipedia. And Jaguar announced that all their new vehicles will be electric by 2025. Men who drive Jags will now also be known for their tiny carbon footprints. This is not headline news.
Yeah, so you can only make jokes about white people and hicks and, et cetera. So, you can scratch that little routine.
Melbourne, Australia just finished up a quick 5-day lockdown to help keep the virus in check. But a guy who refused to stay home is going viral after he started barbecuing at a park, ignored a reporter when they asked him about it, and then slapped their microphone away. When they asked him if he knew about the lockdown, he said, "Can't wait for some of these snags. These are going to be good as." Anyway, here's your...
Did you realise there's a lockdown?
Can't wait for some of these snags. This is going to be good at.
I was hoping that'd be more dramatic than that.
No, it was not. Okay.
Let's see. Oh, this will be good, I hope. Hotel managers shared a story about a woman who wanted to know what room her husband was in because she was certain he was cheating on her. The manager couldn't tell her because of privacy reasons, so she booked her into a room next door. And she did hear him with someone else. The story is, anyway, this is about a woman getting booked into a room, and this is about her learning the sad truth.
Walks into the hotel and she quickly explains to me that her husband has been cheating on her. She knows that he is currently at my hotel with the woman, and she wanted to know what room number he was in. Unfortunately, I could not tell her because of privacy reasons. And rightly so. She could have been lying to me. She could have been the other woman, I don't know. So I checked her into the room right next to the room that her husband was in. The walls were kind of thin. It was actually kind of sad, and that's why I purposely left it out. She did hear her husband in the next room, and she left kind of sad, but she did thank me before she left.
Okay. All right. Some things we need to know so we don't sound stupid today. Let's see. No pandemic delay in 2021. The IRS says it will not be extending this year's April 15th tax deadline. How winter is it? 70% of the U.S. is currently covered with snow. Here's something the Colonel always likes to see every year. The 56th anniversary of Country Music Awards will head back to Nashville and will be broadcast live from 3 iconic country music venues, the Grand Ole Opry House, Nashville's historic Ryman Auditorium, and the Bluebird Cafe on Sunday. North Korea is being accused of hacking into Pfizer and stealing the formula for the vaccine.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm not sure you'd really want to steal that.
No. In some schools around the country, teachers are calling for removing Shakespeare from the classroom. Oh, now you decide to do it. They're doing it for his attitudes regarding race, sexuality, gender, and class.
Oh, dear. Well, you know, it was inevitable. They will destroy Western culture.
Yeah. NASA's Mars...
Well, they won't destroy it, but they'll try to cover it up and, you know, diminish it. But, you know, you'll just have to self-educate your kids.
Well, we'll have a little space video this year. NASA's Mars rover Perseverance will attempt a landing on the red planet this week. Larry King's widow, Sean, is planning to contest his amended will. Don't know why. Students at the University of Washington are calling for the removal of George Washington's statue on campus because he was a slaveholder.
Yeah.
You know what? They don't realize these perfect life livers is the fact that George, without George, well, number one thing, he put his life on the line, literally, because